Okay guys, I promised I'd make this video the experience as a Chad or of a Chad in the club. You guys can't even imagine how it is. You literally can't. It's brutal, but it's true. The amount of, it's not self-esteem, because self-esteem is something pure acquired by facing your fear, breaking mental barriers, unlocking new paradigms in your mind. So it's not self-esteem, but ego feeding. The amount of ego feeding you receive by going to the club as a Chad is insane. That's why girls do it. That's why they have Tinder. That's why they have the social media. A girl might be feeling a little bit insecure, a little bit undesirable. She'll open up Tinder and see those 69,000 FPS GGG on double split in McGlizzy and be like, oh my God, all the guys in the world want me. I'm so hot. Wrong! So I go to the club. There's some dudes that want to pull up to the club, bless them, just to see the situation and the reaction of what happens in the club when I pull up to the club, okay? Brutal. The word is migration, and you'll understand once I get into it. So, I'll give you a little summary of my club experience, okay? Before getting to the club. When I first started going to the club, I used to go with Stacy's, and I got a good understanding of that. Having some time working in the clubs, I got a little bit more understanding of the club social life and how it works. And later on, in doing game and pickup, I got an even better understanding of the club, okay? Till I reached the natural, where I would go to the club because I'd be vibing in the club, I'd have a fun time, maybe I'd bring a girl home, and that would be that. After my huge looks maxing transformation of the past 2 years, year and a half, where I went ham. Everything was different. I was surprised myself. Now, don't judge me off of the camera, my friend. Hit me up on Discord, come visit me in Hungary, you can stay at my place, and then I will let you see the situation for yourself. Because it's amazing! It's like being in a fucking animal documentary. So, before the club, I get spliffy. Because a man gotta get spliffy before going to the club, boys. This is a must. You gotta take a great shower. You gotta shave. You gotta look clean, you know, unless you pull in that bearded look. Being a beard king. Maybe I'll have a mini workout to wake myself up before the club. Get a little bit of a pump. Choose out a nice pair of clothes for that night. Not only look sexy, but that I feel sexy in that night. Get the right jewelry, put on a watch, put on a necklace. Put on some Dolce Gabbana the one, you know. Your own signature perfume is a must. And I look in the mirror. I have my hair all ready and shit, and I'm like, damn boy, we going to bust. So I go with my friends, might drink a beer before going while we're walking on the way. We pull up to the club, I go there, I give my document, I walk in. Already from when we're standing in line, you have girls walking by. Here's my friends, maybe standing next to me. They're just kind of like looking up, walking past me. I'm there dressed clean. I got my cream on, my moisturizer, you know, I'm looking shiny. My teeth are all nice and white. I walk into the club. I go to grab a drink, you know, I'm rolling myself a cigarette. And girls are already there kind of looking and shit. My friends that came to vibe, they're also like laughing. They're just loving the situation, seeing the migration starting to unfold. Have my drink, have my cigarette. One or two girls will come ask for the lighter to light their cigarettes because they're pussies and don't know how to approach the proper way. So I blow them off once I give them the lighter. Maybe some dudes will come chit chat, say hi. We walk into the dance floor, and this is where the art begins, boys. This is where the true migration begins. In your chat, people will move for you, okay? If you're a big dude, I'm tall, I'm big, 90 kilos, 193, 6'3", you know? So, we're going on to the dance floor, and this is gonna sound crazy to you guys. I know it's gonna sound crazy because when I experienced this for the first time, it was insane for me. And it doesn't really get old. I'll be honest, it doesn't get old. The validation is crazy, and I understand why girls are opening up those social media apps and why they go to the club and dressed all slutty and stuff so dudes approach them, because it's a huge boost. So, I'm there on the dance floor with my boys. I usually don't like to go with too many people because it's a mog, or I might end up going and dancing in some area or corner of the club by myself. And the waters start to move. I usually choose a place that's in the middle of the club. Maybe some of the girls notice me. Maybe some of the ones that were at the entrance in the smoking room, they kind of move in, those groups of girls. And eventually, there's a couple groups, maybe like 4 groups of girls in my vicinity around me. And I'd be dancing, I'll be giving them some looks, you know, some side glances. I see they're giving some side glances. What will start happening is they'll start moving closer. And they'll start dancing, kind of like a male peacock shaking its booty, or an ostrich, for the girls. They're not shaking their booties, I mean, it's happened, but that's just my example. What will tend to happen is maybe a girl from the group will be like, that girl from the group likes you, or she's into you or stuff. Or the one girl might start coming up and dancing close to me, hoping for me to make a move, but I don't make no moves. Now this is something interesting. This is something which I've learned in my black pill journey. Girls want chads to smash. They like smashing chads, they like seeing chads smash, they like making chads smash. Girls like incels not smashing. They like avoiding incels. They like making sure incels don't smash, making sure they're socially rejected, and that's brutal. That's brutal, but that's the way it is. So this might be hard for you guys to comprehend since you have not experienced it, but it's crazy when you're in that situation. How can I explain the feeling? The feeling there is I feel like the big lion in the pride, you know? I feel like, damn, I'm so desired. And that can easily go to your head. I remember, it went to my head a couple times, but I'll just tone it down. Now there's two things I want to say before ending the video. Number one, in that situation, I could literally handpick the girl that night that I wanted. I would just dance up closer. I'd just be looking at the girl to such a point that she's hoping that I approach her, but she's noticing that I don't, so she'll approach me. I'll talk, I'll dance, I'll make out, I'll immediately say, let's go back to my place. I'll go get the jackets, go home, and smash. 1, 2, 3, bang. Number two, why the hell do I make this content? Why the hell do I make this content? I'm a Chad, I'm living my best life. I could just be smashing, minding my own business, and not give me a fuck. And I'll be honest, guys, one side of me doesn't give a fuck. Call me an asshole, but that's the truth. I'm being honest. I'm not a super smart guy, but at least I know when I can be authentic. I don't give a shit about all the other dudes in the world suffering, being in the situation I used to be in, not getting opportunities, feeling lonely and shit. But at the same time, there's the other side to me when I'm in my feels that gives a huge damn. And that's the reason I made the channel. Nights where I'd be going on a walk by myself, maybe smoking a blunt, and I'd be thinking. Nights that I'm laying in my bed, sometimes thinking, and I'm thinking, damn, most dudes are out here suffering in this day and age. What social media has created and what this superficial world we live in has created. They're suffering, they're lonely, they're lacking attention and affection from women, men even from men. They're unhappy, and they're just looking for a way out. Because that's the same damn way I felt. And it makes me, not even the fact that I'm vibing, it's like this sort of interconnection between us men and the world. I don't know how to explain the feeling. Some of you might have, you know, like we have a duality. We have a very good side and a very bad side. A bad side that we can cause harm to people and we can be destroyers of the world. And there's a good side that we'd want to save people and be the saviors of the world. And when I'm in that mood, my heart feels moved. Feels moved for the dudes that are out here suffering. And that's why I make this content. Because understanding the black pill, female nature, and a lot of these things can be a life changer. Because it changed mine. It can change it for the better. So in worst case scenario, if you're a super sub 5 and stuff, at least you understand the situation from a realistic point of view and lens. So you can understand why you're in the situation you're in, which is at least cope. And for the other dudes who have a chance to better your standing in the sexual market value hierarchy. So at least you might get some punani and not be absolutely miserable, right?
A woman who disguised herself as a man to find out how it is to live as a man committed due to the psychological scars of how difficult life was as a man. Nora Vincent, the author of Self-Made Man, has died by assisted suicide. She was a radical feminist who believed men lived on easy mode and tried to prove it by disguising herself as a man for 2 years. Instead, what she found out is that men actually have it very hard, and wrote a book about her experience. In fact, the experience was so bad that she had to stop after 18 months because she was starting to hate women due to how bad the women treated her when she believed she was a man. It left her with psychological scars, which accelerated the end of her life.
It's a very sad story.
It is a sad story.
But it does paint a picture about the world that we already know and that we try to help.